Untamed is going to be untamed. It's going to be a little crazy. I want to talk to my people. I want to talk to my brothers and sisters. We can have grace and humility in how we interact with other people.
Oh, hot dog, look at you.
And nobody talked about what's really happening.
And let's have conversations about what truth is.
America, I'm coming to you from the state of Idaho. I need you to heed my warning. This is a supermajority Republican state, and we have 70 legal bills that we cannot get through the state house. 1 week left of session, and we cannot get any of these illegal bills through. Last year, they all died in the House. This year, some made it through the House and are dying in the Senate. We have chairs that will hold these bills, and they will never see the floor. No one will ever hear these bills. No one will ever vote on them. We have legislators, Republicans, that are voting against these the entire way through. Republicans, these are Republicans. We're a supermajority Republican. We have a red MAGA governor endorsed by Trump. Could totally grease this stuff, won't do it. Not in his interest, he won't do it. His donors won't like that. We've got a red House and Senate, and they're killing our bills. What else do we have? We have a red elected sheriffs. We have red elected law enforcement in the state showing up to the Capitol every single day to lobby against our illegals bills. Every single day. They're showing up to lobby. Say they don't have time to partner with ICE. They said they can't do those agreements, but they have time to show up and lobby every day against our illegals bills. These bills are not even, some of them are stats. We just want numbers. We just need to know. The one that we had for schools, how many illegals in our schools dead. The one, how many illegals are getting Medicaid, or how many patient statistics. Just an aggregate number. We just need a total number so we can get some money numbers. That one can't get a hearing. Arrest stats. We had the LEO come and testify against getting arrest stats. Did you know that your law enforcement does not check immigration status on people they arrested? Said it out loud. Literally do not know who they're arresting. They don't even know who they have in their custody. Fought against that bill. It's very frustrating and it's sad, because if we fall, you fall. We are your tea leaves. Heed our warning. If we don't get this message out, if people don't know what is happening in a supermajority conservative state, I mean, we have a legislator who told us that Biden let them all in, so we should just make way. We have another legislator who hired one on her farm, got popped choking his wife and meth in his wallet, got arrested. She rehired him. I showed up, detained her, deported the guy. She's a sitting legislator. She's out there championing abortion and transgender stuff right now. Republican. I'm telling you guys, if we fall, you fall. The nation will be cooked. So please get the message out. Someone's got to know what's going on here.
They're Republicans. I hear it all the time. Republicans. If ever there was a story about the fact that we need people in office that are not willing to be soft, it'd be right now. I have an update for you this morning, but I want to get through this Republican part first. I think it's really, really important that we understand that we are ruled by a one-party system of treasonous traitors. We're slaves, and the rigged elections and primaries are how they do it. You know, I think the hardest part about running for governor has been the realization that there are just really shitty people. They're just shit. They're not in it because they want to save anything. There is no saving the country. I promise you that they're not thinking to themselves, how can I make life better for my neighbors? Most of them aren't. Now, there's a lot of good people, too. I mean, look, Scott Bottom's running for governor, good person. Sean Pond running for Senate, great person. Mark Baisley running for Senate, great person. Barb Kirkmeyer, decent person, very good person. Jason Mikesell running for governor, good person. So there are good people in this fight. But right now, good's not enough. It's just not enough. Every time we turn around, we are fighting from behind as people. We negotiate with the stupid and the ridiculous, and you can't figure out what a woman is, and you got guys paying in women's sports and women getting their teeth kicked in as a result of it. You got grooming happening in schools. I mean, look, if you don't look up right now and see that the entire landscape looks like it did from the top of the Tower of Babylon, I can't help you. But that's in essence what we're dealing with. But before we go through the rest of the stuff, I just want to say hello to Eric Coomer's attorneys. Actually, I'm not going to say that. Strike that. I'm not saying anything to him. I'm not, I'm not allowed to say hello to anybody. Okay. So let me just tell you what happened today. I'm not allowed to talk directly. So let me just tell you, I had a court today. And court was over taking information of what I've said on this show. About the fact that we are living in a country that treason is happening every day. And these guys, these squishes, I can tell that they are very scared right now, and they should be. They are very scared. They all showed up in court today and for a restraining order. And I'm allowed to talk about them. I'm not allowed to talk to them. So I'm talking about them right now. And I couldn't have laughed harder if I would have tried. I got an opportunity to go all the way through this restraining order, which basically says that I won't hurt them, but I've never tried to hurt them. And this David Beller guy. Now, David Beller is the attorney in the Christopher Gregory case. Can we grab the file, please? Can we put that file over here? I want people to see it. I put it out there on the thing. If we can just grab it and bring it in here. But David Beller, this guy is just a terrible human being. He's terrible. Take terrible, like he tries to act nice, but it's the most fraudulent nice you could possibly think of. And he gets up to talk to the judge and says a bunch of things like, oh, he's threatened my life. He's threatened, he said that he wants to hang me and shoot me. And I was like, I didn't say any of that. Now, I will say this. I have talked a lot about treason. Thank you. Sure. And David Beller himself is actually a defendant in the Christopher Gregory case. So that's this big case we got over here. We got big files. It's big files. When I say big files, like big files. And I've had a chance to go through 2/3 of this. And if the FBI and the DOJ does not prosecute Phil Weiser and Jared Polis as a result of this information and Supreme Court justices in Colorado, then there is no justice. There's no justice. There's no justice, and the system is exactly what the woman was talking about in Idaho. It is a kabuki theater. It is a system designed for the haves, not the have-nots, and you're just a slave. Because the crimes inside of this are so egregious, and includes David Beller, the attorney for Coomer, that every one of them should be disbarred and should be thrown in jail. That's what should happen to them. But David Beller got up and said all this stuff, and it was a complete lie. And he was doing it to slander me to the media. And my attorney stood up and said, okay, we have Peter Tickton, and we have my attorneys coming in from Florida, which, by the way, they're going to oppose. They're going to try and oppose an attorney because that's all they've done is try to get attorneys removed. They've lied. Charlie Kane is the biggest liar in the country. Like, this guy is as demonic as you possibly can get. Like, take demonic and move it to like a whole new scale. That dude is as evil as they get. And you got to be really concerned if you were to hire a guy like Charlie Kane. You got to be really concerned with that because if he'll do this evil stuff, then how does that person represent you effectively? I don't think he can. But so we're sitting in there, and it's a restraining order, and I looked through all the things they said. Like I held up a gun on one of the shows saying I'm always fully armed. But it had nothing to do with them. I just held up a gun because I carry a gun everywhere I go. And he's like, oh, I felt threatened. and then I talked about wanting blood. Look, 6 years of what these clowns have done to my life. 6 years. And I'm not even counting the people that they've adversely affected with the big lie. And the big lie is that, and you got more and more coming out every day. You have the stuff coming out in Georgia. You got more stuff coming out related to Nevada that's completely under wraps right now. Oops. You got Michigan, you got Colorado, and the stuff in Colorado is pretty damning. And you got the information that Tina Peters had, you had the Maricopa audit, you got the information they pulled from the FBI, you got some false flags by people like Solomon that's walking out saying it's the boogeyman in China that did it, when we know it's an inside job and it basically is it's a RICO case as far as I'm concerned. And flat right in the middle of all this is Eric Coomer. He's like right in the middle. And Eric Coomer is basically ground zero. He is ground. And I think they're more upset, and the reason why they sued all these people is they're more upset that he got caught because he's a bombacious individual and that he got caught in the middle of it. And had he not been caught, had he not been on that call, had he not said what he said, and it tied back to all the things that he did, posting Antifa manifesto, all the things about killing cops, killing President Trump, hating America, I mean, all of those things. And then the stuff we learned later that's even more damning related to him, and then his connections in Serbia and his connections. I mean, you couldn't even write a different book. You couldn't write a different book. You couldn't write it any more sinister going all the way back to 2005 than the information we've been able to collect. And it contradicts, and that's before we knew that Eric Coomer testified in Georgia in 2023 to have President Trump charged. Like he lied in a grand jury. And I got to tell you, now that President Trump knows that you testified in the grand jury and you lied and it's been unsealed, oh man, I showed up today and I was just in awe. I was just shocked at the fact that he could stand up there and lie with such ease. And it was like theater. And it wasn't that, okay, we're here because, we feel scared. And Brad Clover showed up, Clover showed up, Charlie Kane showed up, two of their, I don't even know what attorneys, they showed up. They listed in the deal their firm. Just so you know, I've never even been near any of them. I'm fully prepared for the weight of law to come down on their squishy little bodies. And it has nothing to do with violence. It has to do with consequences. When you commit treason, when you commit sedition, there's punishments for that. I think they should face the punishment. I think they should be charged. And I think that there's enough evidence collectively that they should go to prison for the rest of their life or worse. Whatever the punishment is, they should get the maximum penalty for what they've done because they're perfectly aware of what they did because they have access to Dominion's files. They have a joint defense agreement with Dominion, and they know who their client is. They know who Eric Coomer is. And the fact that they're willing to stand up and pat him on the back and do the things that they're doing, it's not a victimless crime. Now, it was fun because I get to go to a hearing, and but they stood up there and they tried to defame me and said, we have a defamation case that's been going on for 5 years. No shit, it's been 5 years of my life too. I'd have been just as happy just getting it over with. But now we know more information. I'm kind of happy about that because now everyone that Eric Coomer has sued has a clawback on Eric Coomer and his attorneys because they knew. Clawback. So I'm actually looking forward to, as more information comes out, watching them have to backtrack on all their legal fees and the money they collected. And really bad things happening. And they're just trying to wait out through the midterms. Something really drastic is about to happen though. And I'm going to be really surprised if it doesn't happen this week. Hopefully it does, but maybe next week. And I think there's going to be some things that those attorneys are going to have to answer for. So we'll see. It's going to be fun. But anyway, that's my morning was all in court. Hanging out with David, one of the new attorneys, with David Perry and Peter Tickton, who's my attorneys on this case now, who they're trying to say can't represent me. It's crazy. Why would you do that? Well, you're afraid of good attorneys? I think they are. All right. So let's get back to this stuff happening, Democrats and Republicans, the uniparty doing really bad things. You cannot, you have one political party that openly hates America, hates everything it stands for. And on the other side, you have ones that say that they're protecting Americans, but they're really not, as you just heard. But here's Democrats in the Minnesota House blocking a debate on a bill which would require illegal aliens to report to ICE after committing violent crimes. Let's play it.
The clerk will take the roll. The clerk will close the roll. There being 67 ayes and 67 nays, the motion does not prevail.
So an illegal that's not supposed to be in the country commits a crime, a violent crime, and it very well spelled out, you had to commit a violent crime. And they say, nah, you shouldn't have to report to ICE. Shouldn't have to report it at all. And here's another shocker for Colorado. This is unbelievable. Put it up. 4 Colorado Democrats just blocked Senate Bill 26-115, which would require jail time for child rapists. The 4 Democrats are Adrian Benavides, Nick Hilrichsen, Katie Wallace, and Mike Wiseman. These 4 people actively, these 4 pedophile protectors in Colorado, these 4 pedophile protectors, pieces of trash, who don't want to protect children, block the ability for it being mandatory sentences for child rapists. Now notice it said child rapists. Go read the bill 26-115. It is very clear that if you rape a child, you should absolutely go to jail. So let's just talk about them. Adrian Benavides is representative of House District 32, Commerce City and parts of Adams County. She's a Democrat member of the House of Representatives and currently serves as Speaker Pro Tem. So the Speaker voted to block criminals that rape children from going to prison. Nick represents Senate District 3 in Pueblo County. He's a Democrat member of the Colorado State Senate. Nick's a little freak. You can tell. I mean, look at him. Just a freaky guy. Katie Wallace represents Senate District 17, Denver area. She's a Democrat, part of the Democrat Socialists of America. Woo! Then you got Mike Weissman, little Synagogue of Satan member right there. He, Arapahoe County area. He's a Democrat member of the State Senate, excuse me. He served in the House, District 36, before moving to the Senate in 2024. And staying with Colorado, man, it's just this is what's happening in Colorado. This should be really good for you. Let's play this. This is good. This is a rep, Yara. He can't even spell her name. I mean, whatever happened to like people like Mike Johnson, Chris Jones? No. Let's go ahead and play it.
Around detention centers. I am so grateful for the work the sponsors put into this bill to allow us to have some oversight. I don't care how anybody came into this country. We have constitutional rights for everybody, and nobody should be subject to nearly dying because they existed in this country. And the stories that we heard about the health conditions in these centers are horrifying, and that alone should be enough for all of us to vote yes today. We should be doing everything we can to prevent that, regardless of where you are on the political scale. No person should be subject to torture within concentration camps in our state.
I don't know if you missed that, compared ICE arresting criminal aliens to being tortured in concentration camps. This is crazy. All right. Sorry, I have to go through and re-add things to Twitter. I this whole censorship thing. I was on Facebook the other day, and it showed that live we had just over 1,300 people that were on live on Facebook, and then I'm sitting here watching it, and it went from 1,300 and some to four people. And the same thing is being done on Twitter, same thing is being done on, or X, whatever you want to call it. Same thing's being done on all the platforms. So they're basically doing everything they can to censor me. And now it's not a conspiracy, it's actually happening. We're sending hundreds of people to these people through email and through text, and it'll register 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm just trying to collect as much information as possible so I can get back to it. So I was just collecting some information on what was happening on X. You got to hear this. Now, Kyle Clark has long been a supporter of the radical ridiculousness and the evil that happens in our society. And but this is where he starts attacking evangelical Christians by putting 2 anti-trans measures on the ballot. So we have to now beg for our rights not to be surrounded by sickos. Play it.
2 anti-trans voter initiatives being organized by evangelical Christians have made Colorado's ballot in November. One would ban trans kids from gender-specific sports teams, and the other would outlaw gender-affirming surgery for children. Republican former state senator Kevin Lundberg says the measures are to, quote, stop the transgender plague in Colorado. The ballot initiatives are from his group, Protect Kids Colorado, which he leads alongside Aaron Lee, a parent activist who claims that Colorado's legislators are, quote-unquote, actual demons. Here they are discussing the ballot measures with televangelist and self-described Christian nationalist prophet Lance Wallnau, who helped them launch Protect Kids Colorado. Lundberg described the anti-trans measures as a way to pump up conservative turnout in the midterms.
This will change the conversation in 2026 for the elections overall in this state. I believe that this is the point of the spear, you might say.
I like to say that gender ideology is our state-mandated religion, that we have more insane, radical, unconstitutional law that harms children, that pushes this ideology than any other state.
The LGBTQ advocacy group Rocky Mountain Equality opposes the ballot measures, saying that they're an effort by, quote, a small group of hateful people to make bullying trans kids the law.
"39 teachers in 2025 were arrested for sexually abusing a child. As of this morning, and we're just now getting through March, there's over 26 in the state of Colorado that are either under investigation or have been charged with abusing a child, sexually abusing a child in the school. We're 3 months into it. 26. That's with 4 counties not reporting. That's with 4 counties not giving me information that I need. 4. But they want to say that it's for bullying children. You can have a teacher rape a child, move out of state with that child, have the school stand in the way and hide information from the parents, and aid and abet the kidnapping of a child, and take that child to California. This actually happened. Jefferson County Schools in Colorado. And there will be no criminal charges at all. And that person can go and teach in California or a different state because that record will not follow that grooming teacher. We have gotten to the point where everything is on the table. Everything's on the table. And everything, we sit back and we say, let the process play out as people become victims. I'm going to tell you right now, nobody in this country has an appetite for any more of it anymore. Like, we're done. And I talk to Democrats, Republicans, Independents. You should try it too. Just go out and have a conversation with them and see what happens. And say, listen, I got to know, are we dealing with really people that that want this in our society, that want this in our country? The answer will come back no. The answer will come back no. I don't actually know what is going on with Rumble. We're at 98 people on Rumble, guys. 98. Just can't. I can't. We have more people on Spotify within 5 minutes than we do on Rumble. Again, I guess Chris doesn't like the fact that I'm talking about the fact that he suppresses things, so it gets worse. All right, let's talk about the judges. And yeah, it bothers me. It bothers me that everyone can recognize it. That we can have 1.5 million people go watch Peter Boyles and I go at it for 3 hours, which, by the way, Peter Boyles is going to come on this show for 3 hours, and they can just suppress every one of the socials out there and say, we're going to keep Joe dead. We're not going to let him speak. Where Coomer's lawyers can call Facebook and say, I want you to take down this post and say it's hate-driven, even though it's not. That's a real thing. That you basically have a freeze out of everything that I say across the board. Doesn't matter what platform we're on. They're all talking to each other. And I can't wait to get to the point where I actually get information from each one of them. And I'm like, hey, just show me all the emails, texts, and everything else from everything related to Joe Oltmann. I can't even imagine the conversations that are happening or where they're happening. All right, let's talk about the courts, shall we? Let's talk about the things that I think are important to you. You have judges that are basically, it's unbelievable. More and more rulings are coming out by federal and state judges that are politically motivated. Nothing to do with the law. And you have conservative judges, which are smaller because you've had so much stealing of the voice of people that state by state they have been assigned and put in those positions of power to take over the country. It literally is that. And it's not, by the way, just on the Democrat side, it's Republican side too. How easy is it for a Democrat to say, I'm a Republican? Get on the ticket. Say, oh, you are? Oh, come on in. No vetting, no history, no nothing. I mean, look at Victor Marx. No voting history. No voting history. And he's running for governor of Colorado and says, I'm a conservative and I love the Lord. 7th degree black belt. I mean, you name it. He's come out and said 7th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu. I don't care about the rest of it. 7th degree black belt in jiu-jitsu is there's like 11 of them in the world. And he's not one of them. But we bring these people in and we say, okay, we're going to let this person lie. We're going to let this person do this. We're going to let this person just walk in off the street, make up stories, and then walk in and become the governor candidate. And the churches stood him up. Didn't do any sort of back check on him at all. Just took it that this is what he did, even though none of it's true. Well, I want to talk about this because one of the things that happened in 2020 is that the Texas v. Pennsylvania case, and Justice John Roberts came out and said, oh, they don't have standing. One state does not have standing over another state that commits a crime in undoing the crime that was committed by them. And we've gone on this for 5 years. But here's Justice Roberts talking about activist judges. So he recognized it, but how do you get rid of it? Let's go ahead and play it.
Your opinions today. Well, it does come with the territory. Often, when any of us issue an opinion, there's often a dissent. Usually not, but I mean, most opinions, or more opinions than anything else, are unanimous, and that's pretty. You get used to the criticism right away, and it can very much be healthy. We don't believe that we're flawless in any way, and it's important that our decisions are subjected to scrutiny, and they are. The problem sometimes is that the criticism can move from a focus on legal analysis to personalities, and you see from all over, I mean, not just any one political perspective on it, that it's more directed in a personal way, and that, frankly, can be actually quite dangerous. Judges around the country work very hard to get it right, and if they don't, their opinions are subject to criticism. But personally directed hostility is dangerous, and it's got to stop.
It's very
Personally directed hostility. You mean the hostility I have towards judges that lie and cheat and steal, like Marie Avery Moses, that walked in right off the bench and did a sua sponte and gave Coomers the attorneys to claw back on a 20-year judge's decision? That one? Or how about the probable falsity after a 45-minute meeting and me sitting on there and saying, "Hey, this is what happened." That hostility that I have towards. Oh, I forgot to tell you, because that judge marched in an Antifa rally, and Coomer is Antifa, and she's a part of the Democrat Socialists of America. Yeah, that judge, or maybe it's the new judge that wears a rainbow flag on his forehead and assigns a special master who's also a radical leftist, also a part of the same contingent, who comes in and issues claims and or orders that are unlawful and or violate procedure, and does so over and over and over again. Well, you know, and let's go back to the judge with the rainbow sticker on his forehead that says that I love to follow procedure while waiting 4 months to rule on a summary judgment that he should have ruled on. So I have to file a disciplinary committee, judicial disciplinary committee complaint. I throw it over there. They don't even call me. They don't even bother calling me. They're supposed to, but they didn't. Saying you can't pay him until he actually rules on this, but he still doesn't rule on it because the entire system is filled with what deserves every bit of the scrutiny it's given. Maybe we talk about the Christopher Gregory case again, and the fact that judges are having orgies inside of the chambers, and sexual misconduct, and drinking and driving, and having the police and the judges actually, you know, cover it up for them. Supreme Court justices literally doing all sorts of crimes, getting a bench warrant for their arrest, and then you know, the police show up and say, go clear that up on Monday, and then having them hold it back and not tell the Supreme Court. I'm talking about Melissa Hart, by the way, who was a Supreme Court justice in Colorado, ruled against President Trump being on the ballot, that basically got drunk all the time, had a heyday, and that they all covered for themselves. Every judge in the city and county in Denver, all the way up, covered for a judge's misconduct. And that doesn't even count all the crimes that were committed in these files. Crimes, entitlements, free $450,000, free $700,000, free $2.7 million hush money. It's crazy. It's crazy. Crazy. And if that's not enough, we talk about these judges, and look, you could say, well, Joe, you don't like the rulings for the judge in the Coomer case. We have them dead to rights, committing crimes. And the judge in D.C. knows it and has sealed the record, won't let anybody get access to it, of crimes being committed. And then took Stephanie Lambert off the case because she turned it over to law enforcement and said, you have to investigate this. Eric Coomer committed crimes. They committed crimes. And the judge sanctions her for saying that for turning it over for a crime committed. Like, the system is literally rotted to the core. And John Roberts wants us to be convinced that they try really hard to get it right. Get the fuck they do. No, they don't. They deserve every bit of the ridicule that they get because they have ruined good people's lives and stood up shit attorneys and cases for political gain because it's organized crime, and they protect each other. And if you want to talk about another federal judge, you have an executive order that was issued by the president, executive branch, executive order. It was set to end. It was set to end on March 17th at midnight. And a federal judge appointed by Barack Hussein Obama halted the order. Now it didn't, nobody signed anything to get this done. It just expired. And a federal judge stepped in and said, I now have control of the executive branch. They act with impunity across the board and said, nope. You just like we did in Idaho. You just have to find a way to accommodate people. Well, fuck that. You're stepping over Americans. You're not taking care of the people that are here that are American. You don't offer them free health care, free child care. And I'm not saying that we do, but that's what you're giving to illegals. Well, here's this, Judge. Somalis just let the low IQ people, let them stick around. Go ahead.
Let's turn back to our top story now. With just hours to go until temporary protected status for Somalia is expected to expire.
But a federal judge's order just last week could delay it. Our Audrey Russo's in the newsroom with what we know at this hour. Hey, Audrey.
Yeah, Homeland Security is poised to terminate temporary protected status for Somali nationals at 11:59 tonight. Now, Friday, a judge halted that expiration, giving Somali nationals with TPS momentary relief to plan their next move. Now, take a look at this. Minneapolis city officials posted on social media. You can see right there, they're encouraging those with TPS to talk to a lawyer and seek other legal avenues to stay in the country. Right now, there's roughly 400 Somali nationals in Minnesota with TPS. Now, temporary protected status was offered to Somali nationals back in the 90s as they fled civil war in the country. The Trump administration vowed to end it back in January, encouraging Somali nationals to self-deport by offering them a free plane ticket and a $1,000 exit bonus. Now, Friday's ruling from the federal judge gives both the feds and immigration advocates the chance to file their arguments, but this is just the start of what could be a lengthy legal battle.
Lengthy legal battle. How many legal battles do you think we've had for the 22, 23, 25 service members that commit suicide every day? Any? How about the billions of dollars they went over on the VA hospital in the state of Colorado? That one? Nobody lost their job. Nobody was fired. Just more grift off the bone. How about the homelessness that we have across the entire country? I mean, we have serious problems inside of our city, state. Our education level is at an all-time low. Doesn't matter what state you're talking about. And here's Steve Miller. He had something to say about talking about the cost of illegals and illegal immigration. Let's go and play it.
But what we found since President Trump came into office is that the Democrats have set up a system to funnel hundreds of billions and ultimately trillions of dollars to migrants that are in our country, oftentimes from places like Somalia. So as an example, ICE recently asked a group of illegal immigrants that were in detention whether or not they were receiving Medicaid. Half of them raised their hands and volunteered that they were on Medicaid. Just volunteered that. These aren't the ones who are hiding it, right? They also asked illegal aliens how they paid their medical bills, and they said that if they don't have Medicaid, they go to hospitals, they get free care there, and they bill it to the taxpayers. So they aren't paying for any of their own health care in this country. It's just one example. And we've seen this over and over and over again. So under President Trump's leadership, and then of course with JD and the head of the FTC, Andrew Ferguson, we're going to see the first ever effort in American history to reclaim the ultimately trillions of dollars that were stolen from taxpayers.
And if you don't remember, there was a rift between Elon and President Trump because the cuts were too deep. And Elon said something that I believe in fully. Cut so deep you feel it. Because if you don't feel it, you didn't cut deep enough. And that's what's happening in our country. The grift in this country is absolutely out of control at the taxpayer's expense. You've been conditioned to give up 56 cents on every dollar. Well, now it got more expensive. And the bottom 15% turned into the bottom 25%. And let's talk about how Somalis are living that have returned to Somalia. Let's go ahead and play this.
Somalis who have returned from the United States. Dahir hopes to capitalize on the relative stability in Mogadishu and now wants to buy this home, some 7 kilometers outside Mogadishu.
I came here today to see this house and talk to the management on the mode of payment. This is a good initiative and one that Somali returnees can afford. One of the main reasons I chose this area is because it's out of the city and it has a mosque school and a playing field for the children.
Amid an economic boom in the country, construction is taking place all over Somalia.
At your expense. And by the way, I'm all about the fact that they're at least taking that money and they're buying nice stuff with it. God bless them for that. But it is because Americans are suffering here. Americans are trying to figure out how to pay their bills. And everything costs an American a pound of flesh. Sending your kids to college costs $250,000 a year. I know I sent 2 to college. We haven't even started talking about health care. You pay in $1,500, $1,800. I looked at the scale today, and one person without a family, it's $700 a month. With a spouse, it doubles. $1,300, actually just under double, $1,300 a month. And that's for the bronze program. If you move up to the gold program, it's nearly $2,200. With children, it's $2,700. How do you spend $3,000 a month on health care for your children? And oh, by the way, that comes with deductibles. So God forbid something happen. So you're paying $3,000 a month. Who in the world, in a normal environment, can afford to spend $3,000 a month? Tell me. I want to show you this. This is blue states and how they are able to manipulate things and requires immigration to maintain their population. Blue states require immigration to maintain their population. U.S. population changes minus international migration, 20 to 2025. In Trump states, plus nearly 5 million. In red states, or blue states, negative 2.7 million is on average change. And this is what leads to this statement from Governor Hochul from New York. Let's play it.
And being conscious of the facts that I need people who are high net worth to support the generous social programs that we want to have in our state. Right? Now, there are some patriotic millionaires who've stepped up. Okay, cut me the checks. I mean, just if you want to be supportive, but maybe the first step should be go down to Palm Beach and see who you can bring back home, because our tax base has been eroded. So I philosophically don't have a problem. It is like I have to look at the fact that we are in competition with other states who have less of a tax burden on their corporations and their individuals. And I would say remote work changed everything. There were people who could only work in an office in Manhattan or work in New York State, and they were captives to our state. They were going to stay. We saw that that's not the case. I mean, you know, Wall Street, businesses looking at Texas, they're not going there because they have a nicer governor. I know that for sure. But they're going there because of the tax rate. We have to be smart about this. But we can fund what we want to fund with what we already are taking.
Okay, so I want to point something out. She said they don't, not because they have a nicer governor. She's making a plea that go pick up millionaires and bring them back here to steal their money. Do you even see how ridiculous this is? I mean, let's just talk about how ridiculous this is. Go down there, pick up some of your friends, and bring them back here to New York. A relative shithole. I mean, and I'm not saying it's it smells like trash. It smells, a friend of mine, his family grew up in Manhattan, lived in Manhattan for 34 years. 34 years he lived in Manhattan, downtown. Loved it. Left. I'm like, where are you moving to? He goes, Florida. I said, bro, that's a little different. That's a lot different than where you came from. And he goes, yeah, I can't do it anymore. I cannot in good conscience stay in New York. I can't afford it. And this guy makes like $3-4 million a year. I go, what do you mean you can't afford it? He goes, bro, half of it goes to taxes. And I'm talking about like building taxes, like I'm paying for somebody else to live for free. He goes, it is literally, they are stealing from me. He doesn't even have a car. He didn't have a car. He didn't drive for probably the last 10 years. You're like, why? Just get in a cab, take a Uber, do whatever, right? Just move around. Car service. So this is a bill that I want you to see this. This is what else is happening in New York, just so you know. Go ahead and play this next one.
The New York City skyline could soon be getting a little darker if a new bill is passed in Albany. This bill would require many outdoor lights be turned off between 10 p.m. and 5 a.m. So this would affect residential, commercial, industrial, and municipal buildings in the state. There are some exemptions like street lights and holiday decorations, but right now the bill is just in the first stages.
Turn your lights out or get fined. Oh. We, I want you to see this. This is Islamic scholars in the U.S. These are radicals, by the way. These aren't normal people on the street that you have as neighbors. These are radicals. But here's what they have planned in the United States. Let's play it.
America, okay, if we don't want them to implement secularism, so what do we want them to implement? They say that America now, okay, there is not enough Muslims for them and to implement Islam, but now it is our challenge as du'at, as intellectuals, as academic, to present solutions based on Islamic values, but in the second level degree, not to tell them replace secularism with Islam. It won't work. Yeah, presenting Islam as a civilizational alternative, this needs from us a different way of addressing this generation, addressing in fact the whole world, trying to get into key positions where you are influencing the decisions, yani decision making. If we are, whatever we do, and we are not influentials, we cannot influence the how politics is running. We are not influence the decision making processes.
We know that if we were to do this from 0 to 100, the people are going to say, we're not going to have this type. Look Afghanistan, look other places. And people understand they're not going to go from 0 to 100 overnight. Suppose a Muslim party, an Islamic party, comes in and they start changing. You know what? We want to make sure there's no alcohol being sold. So can we, for the time being, because here's the point, any type of stuff we do, it's not astaghfirullah to substitute the Sharia. No, it's a program to eventually apply the Sharia, right?
I'm not even sure you guys want to know what I think right now. Look, life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. What happened to coming here, assimilating, do whatever you want. Be a pink dinosaur, I don't care. But you want to then say, oh, you have this hate, and we're not going to go from 0 to 100. Like, get the hell out of here. These are weak people, call themselves academics. And here's the problem about academics. You go to class, you go get a PhD, okay. I mean, short of actually doing really hard work and creating your own, cutting your own path, you read books. You regurgitate those books on paper, and then they say, write a thesis about the books you read. And that makes you an academic? I mean, I've read over 2,500 books. I read 4 books last week. I was trying to understand an entire market related to technology services, so internet providers, fiber, cable, everything else. Like I sat down and I needed a crash course. We had some degradation in certain areas. I needed to know what passings were. I needed to know what construction was. So I sat down and I read 4 books over 3 days. Spent 40 hours reading those books. And I mean, I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning every day because I had to learn it. I had to know it. And at the end of it, I'm like, all right, now I got to build reports and I got to build certain models. So I got to make sure those models allow for data to be congruent with what they were trying to accomplish. Guys, and I had to meet with people that are related to this particular client, and I was like, all right, let me reiterate to you what I think I'm seeing, and I did, and then I built a report for him, and he sent it off over to his people, and they were like, this is amazing. I did that in 4 days. 5 days. 5 days. 4 books, 5 days. Because I had to learn the market. Should I get a PhD in the productization of technology services? These people think that they are academically superior. They think they are smarter than we are here. And the reason why they are smarter than we are here is because we've allowed them to take from us what was never theirs to take. The sovereignty of our country. And they did it state by state. And Muslims do it. Everyone is taking the bite out of the American people. Like, if you don't think that you're like a piece of meat and the piranhas are on you, just look around. Everywhere you turn, they think you are a meat sandwich. Everywhere you turn. And everyone wants more from you. We're going to just raise taxes a little bit more. And everyone fees you to death. And wherever you go, they feel like they're entitled to take from you. And that you are their slave. No matter where you go. It does not matter where in the United States you go. They keep telling you that they're smarter than you. Let's go over here, bomb this company, do this stuff, do all this, knock on your head, rub on your belly, do all this stuff. And you sit back and you're like, okay, I don't have any idea. Now, we're not good at asking for things because we're self-sufficient. We're Americans. We're not good at taking meat off the bone. But illegals come here, and the whole philosophy behind people from other nations is to take as much as you possibly can. It is scarcity. And when you put scarcity and abundance together, you are going to have a war. And that's where we are right now. And here's this piece of trash. Again, you should not be able to serve in Congress unless you were born in the United States. You should not be able to serve in Congress, period, unless you were born in the United States. Here's Jayapal talking about immigration and that this country was built by everyone except for Americans. Go ahead, play it.
The majority of Americans across the country, regardless of political party, know that immigrants from all over the world, Somalia, India, wherever they're from, Latin America, Africa, that immigrants have built this country and make this country what it is today.
You're retarded. Americans built this country. Americans built this country. Americans' blood and sweat built this country. Foreigners did not build this country. People came to this country, they assimilated to what this country was, they became Americans, and they ate the ethos of our nation. And when you stuff a bunch of people that are entitled from other countries, including this piece of trash, what you get is a sense of entitlement that Americans didn't do shit. Remember what Barack Obama said? You didn't build it. You didn't build this country. We did build it. And just because a piece of trash that was never born here gets up on a stand and says, that Americans are just, you're not the ones that actually did it. We did it. You didn't do shit. You stole from us. You grifted us. You put us in a position where we're stepping over Americans. And I'm talking about my black Americans, brown Americans. I'm talking about my Americans, my brothers and sisters. I don't care if they're pink with purple feet. They're my pink with purple feet. They're the ones that built this country. The roadblock after roadblock after roadblock is put in front of our American brothers and sisters. Keep them in the same position they are, genociding their generation while giving freebies to everyone around them. No, it's not the way it's supposed to be. Well, I'm at the end. I got nothing left. You guys have anything? All right, let's put comments up. Sorry, but Jayapal looks like she was birthed by a monkey. Yes. Oh, you're racist. You're so racist. That's so racist. It's not racist. She looks like she was birthed by a monkey. Sorry. Let's see what else we got. The governor just passed a proclamation to celebrate Ramadan in North Carolina. Taking over our government. Yeah. Look, we're gonna get through it. Gotta run, guys and gals. See you later. Pray, stand, speak, and act. Love you all. Bless you. Gatorbait, nice to see you. So here's what I know is going to happen. I'm going to have Kyle Antifa Clark or one of these other little trash heaps. They're going to put something up to go after me and says, oh, it's just a protection order. And I'm going to be like, okay. And then I'm going to have to sue people again. Like I keep having to sue different places. Every time I send a news outlet, our lawyers send a news outlet a cease and desist with a, hey, you better take it down or else, they've all taken them down. Every single one of them. Because I think that from this point on, I think they realize where the tea leaves are going. Now, the left thinks that they're going to win and everything else. And look, if the left wins, I can tell you right now, there is not an appetite from any of you to sit back and watch it happen. I can't imagine that any of you are going to just let it happen. So, all right, well, let's pray for our leaders. And there's like a lot of stuff happening right now. I didn't even want to look at my phone because it's blowing up with stuff, people saying stuff. Hopefully there's nothing else. Let's see. Let's see what else is out there. Oh, Netanyahu. This can't be real.
Because if you are strong enough,
this can't be real.
Powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time. Before the
oh my gosh.
Gong.
Okay, guys, listen, I had to get this. I don't know why I thought that I should look up and do this before we end, but let me see if I can do this really quick. So, you know, we obviously have this thing with Netanyahu, and he's kind of a funny guy. That's kind of a good way to put it. Let me see if I can put this in the comments real quick. Oh, man, please tell me. Netanyahu said this. He said the quiet part out loud. Now, I'm going to play it. They're going to play it really quick. What is the obsession with announcing he's alive? I don't know. Satan Yahoo. We're going to call him Satan Yahoo. The SAVE Act can be passed with the two-speech rule invoked. No to cloture, 51 votes gets it passed. Soon just has to do it. Danster, I agree with you, but he can't because he's a coward. And he just wants to make it so that we can't actually pass it. Okay, do you have it? Jeff comes up with some good ones. We got it? I said, we got it. You guys are so funny. You guys come up with some good names for things. Let me see what else I got here. Dude, this is not right. Tell me when. So you get to sit here with me for a bit. Yeah, so just so you know, no, it's not. Elon Musk would put up algorithm is better today than 3 months ago, and I put up no. There's literally suppressing what we're talking about today. All right, play it.
Also wrote The Lessons of History, very brief, 100-page book, in which he said, well, history proves that, unfortunately and unhappily, Jesus Christ has no advantage over Genghis Khan. Because if you are strong enough, ruthless enough, powerful enough, evil will overcome good. Aggression will overcome moderation. So you have no choice. If you look at the world as it is today, you have to be blind not to see that the democracies led by the United States have to reassert their will to defend themselves and to oppose their enemies in time while there's still time, before the jarring gong of danger wakes them up and wakes them up too late. This is where we are now. The fact that people don't see that, the fact that a lot of the news media are harking on a lot of fake news, but also a lot of short-sightedness, and do not see the historic period and the historic struggle that we are engaged in now, doesn't obviate these truths.
What are you talking about? See, his Freudian slip was pretty easy. Ready? He said evil can overcome good. Do you think he meant good can overcome evil? I don't think he did. Is it fake? You think it's fake? I just ran through the machine. It doesn't show that it's fake. Do you think it's fake? Somebody said fake. Teresa says fake. You guys want to check that for me? Let me see here. We're going to check it out right now, see if we can come up with. Let's see if that's fake. No, it doesn't show it's fake. Looks fake. No, it's real. Hold on, let me just make sure. No, it's real. You guys think it's not real, but it's real. It says it's real. And the thing just says 99.99% that it's real. So it's real. Yes, God is great all the time. God wins in the end. How could you sit there and say that Jesus does not have an advantage over Genghis Khan? I don't even know what to say. It's like going into a courtroom with Coomer's attorneys. It doesn't make any sense at all. You just wonder, like, is somewhere along the line, is anyone with any common sense going to show up and throw him out the door? Maybe. We'll see. Okay, we have anything else you want to go over? I think we're good. All right, guys, listen. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. I am early today. I'm getting off early today. Unless you want to do something. You guys want to do anything else? I think we're good. We had a good day today. All right? I'll see you tomorrow bright and early. I literally had court all day. So we'll talk about a lot of things. President Trump did put out a post about Tina a couple days ago. And on top of that, we had the post that he put up related to what's going to happen with elections. You can't go anywhere without seeing what's happening with the elections. The elections are just absolutely 100% rigged. All of them. Every single one of them. And they rigged the primaries, rigged the general. They put people like Victor Marx inside the race. And I don't look. You can vote for whoever you want. You're in Colorado. You want Victor Marx? Go ahead. You deserve everything that you get for going with a guy that literally is a paper tiger. It's all you. But you cannot walk past him and say that he's a man of God while walking past a pastor who's served for 25 years honorably. That's Scott Bottoms. He's my second pick. So I'm my first pick. He's my second pick. All right, let's pray. Father God, thank you for the opportunity to be here today. Thank you for the sense of humor you give all of us so that we don't lose our minds. We're grateful for our families and our friends. We're even grateful for our animals. I mean, can you imagine what it would be like if we didn't have dogs and cats? Yeah, it's just, they're a blessing. But we're grateful for the opportunity to work this problem with you, Father, and to be in the gap and doing the things that are necessary in order to root out evil. So, Father, I just ask that you put a hand of protection over President Trump and the people in the administration, but also the people at our state level and around the country that have been just fighting for so long. Help them to see that their work is worth it, and that somewhere along the line we'll get to a place where we can restore you to everything that is anything in our communities, country, and in the world. So, Father, we ask you to just guide us and give us discernment and give us the ability to see things as they are and not through the foolish lenses that we keep being presented with. So I say these things In the name of Jesus Christ, amen. All right. Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Pandora, iHeartRadio, TuneIn, and more. All the fun stuff. Go do all that stuff. It's good to pray with you and hang with you. And yeah, it's all good stuff. And yeah, I know that they're suppressing me. And yeah, it's what they do. It's what the social medias do. The good part is that we're still getting a huge amount of people that go to the website, and we're still reaching a ton of people. So it's all good. All right. We'll see you soon. Take care.
Rising from the fight for the forgotten and the free, exposing rigged machines, Kuma's lies, Dominion's deceit, pays a grand each day, shielding truth from corrupt halls, but he won't back down, standing tall through it all. Hart and Tina Peters break the chains that bind her tight, hand count votes and one day bring the fraud to light. No more mailing scams, no machines to steal the night, restore the people's voice, make Colorado right. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true, badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away, shrink the bloated state, let the people have their say. It's our rally call, truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people, set our great state free. Help the single moms, bring back trade school strong, opportunity for youth, where the brave belong. Audit every NGO, ban the wolves that roam, reclaim our stolen land, bring the power home. Eric Kuma's fraud, Dominion's rigged design, expose the stolen votes, cross a dangerous line. No more victimhood, no chains on you and me. He's running for governor for real liberty. Smash the fraud machine, pardon heroes jailed for the have-nots. Rising truth will never fail. One warrior defies the corrupt elite. Colorado reborn, strong on our feet. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Badass for the have-nots, fighting through and through. Abolish property tax, cut the tolls away, shrink the bloated state, let the people have the say. Governor Oltmann, it's our rally call, truth and freedom rise and watch the tyrants fall. Untamed Colorado, strong and proud, we'll be one man for the people, set our great state free. Governor Oltmann, lead us bold and true. Governor Oltmann, freedom forever, Colorado rise. Governor rise up untamed, in the heart of the fight where the wild ones roam. Joe Oltmann's calling, bringing truth back home. From conservative daily to this untamed fire, we shatter the silence, lifting spirits higher. No chains can hold us, no lies can prevail. Authentic and fearless on this rugged trail. Patriots gather under stars and stripes. Untamed nation, igniting the night. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown. Untamed nation, it's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave time to heal. Joe's voice leads the untamed crew. Truth matters through and through. Untamed nation, let the truth roll out in this land of the free. Standing proud from sea to shining sea, we won't back down. Catch the fire, wear the crown, tame nation. It's our battle song, motivating hearts where the brave